Welcome back. Back on the old rat rod. Fourth and final part, hopefully. Hopefully this time we're finished, done, on the road, on to the next one. Let's get into it. All right, like I said, part 4, hopefully final. That's the plan. If you guys are new, like I say, part 4, so you need to go check out the beginnings. Check them all out. This thing's been a fun build. If you guys are coming back, really appreciate you guys. Go check out some of our other stuff, everybody. Look at that. That was a cool, fun build. Also, make sure you're subscribed. Please make sure you're subscribed. It helps out so much. And no fast forwarding on me on this video. We gotta watch her all the way through. I'm doing some cool stuff, so you gotta watch it all. Anyhow, we got lots of good stuff for this one. We got our brakes for the rear. We got our stuff to rebuild the rear end. We got our new carburetor back. We got gauges. We got switches. We got all kinds of interior stuff. We got exhaust. We got wiring stuff. It's going to be a good one. We're just over, a month into this bad boy. Really happy with the progress on it. It's steaming along really well. Honestly, happy with everything. Cost wise, I don't have a 100% number where we're at yet. Try to get that at the end. Overall, leak wise, it's doing pretty good. It's got fluids in it, but the old coolant thermostat housing's kind of giving up on us. We'll have to fix that. But overall, she's pretty dry underneath, which is cool. I think on this one for now, getting started, we I guess between here and there, we did wash the seat. You guys didn't get to see that one. I should have got that on video because it let out some of the nastiest water. It was so disgusting. Just took her out there, garden hosed her, scrubbed the heck out of it with some cleaner. At least now I took the crunchiness out of it, and it smells good. And I feel like we won't get a disease sitting in it. But while the seat is out, I think we're going to go ahead and work on the interior, get it sound deadened up, because that's something that I've been wanting to get done for a while. And then maybe while we get the seat out, we'll just go ahead and start pulling some wires. There really isn't a lot of wiring on this one, so that should go pretty quick. Yeah, I think we'll get you guys set up. We'll just dive right into it and start with the sound deadener. So let's do it. Think I'm pretty happy with that. Really cleaned it up, made the old cab look pretty snazzy. We need to get some seam tape down. You start messing around in here too much and that stuff just gets all over you. No fun. Need to finish up underneath the firewall, but I don't know, just not feeling that project right now. I think we're gonna put that on pause, get a good dent in it. Looking for something a little more exciting and easier, for right now. So I think we're going to move on to the seat, because that seems like a pretty easy project, something kind of fun. So whatever, we're going to move on to that a little bit real quick. I'm a little scatterbrained, whatever. Anyways, this is leftover from the Falcon. If you guys haven't checked out that build, go check it out. We did cheap, easy interior in that one. We're going to do the same thing in this one. Kind of like this look anyways. I'd like to get something fancier in the Falcon, but we're not on that right now. Anyways, this is going to be a work truck. So So I don't mind this in here. I think it'd be kind of cool. And it'll knock the modern look off of this seat, because we really, you know, I'm not really digging that. But I do like the features of the modern seat. It's why I always usually try to go after one. I like the modern foam, and that's just the right width. You know, it's already got seat belts. When you got the little guys, you got to think of that. Anyways, seat cover, cheap. Like I say, Amazon jobber. I think they're like, what, 30? I think we got these things for like 30 bucks. Whatever. Anyways, we're going to slap that bad boy on. See how it looks. Surely it's going to look a lot better. I think it will be. Let's do it. Yeah, what do you think? Not too bad. Couple wrinkles right here. I think that'll wear in as we sit on it, but it is, you know, the seat's got a little bit of a concave, so it is what it is. To be honest, I was thinking about this. You know, we gave what, 58 bucks, call it 60 bucks for the seat, and then let's call it 40 bucks for the seat cover. That's 100 bucks in that. You know, I mean, what do you expect? Like I say, we were talking, you had to buy a seat prior, so you still would have been the 50, 60 bucks, whatever, unless you had an old junky one. And then you're going to pay an upholstery shop $500 to $100 to $1,000. Yeah, granted, you have a lot nicer seat, but we're just going in an old work rod, you know? So, I don't know. I think that turned out super good. I like it. A little bulky around here. I think we'll still be able to, you know, I guess kind of use these pockets, whatever. Oh, and can stuff his Hot Wheels in there. Overall, I really like how it covered up the ugliness on the side. I think once the seat's in there, you know, you won't see any of this. So this turned out super slick around this handle. Really like that. I just kind of notched it out. Yeah, I don't know. I know it's a complete waste of time, but I'm thinking I'm going to set that in real quick and just try it out, because I'm pretty jazzed up about it. So let's do that. Well, that like fell in like butter. I don't know. That went way too easy. I'm gonna go make sure the other side's in. It is. Man, oh man. I mean, that is like perfect. It tucks all that junk in. You can tuck that in back there. The seat now only comes forward a little bit. That is a little bit of a downfall wrapping the seat cover around it. But to be honest, I wish I would have just covered that handle up now and not cut a hole in the cover. Because to be honest, what does the seat need to move for? But whatever. Let's try it out. Oh yeah. I like that. That's gonna work. Yeah, I definitely think this is gonna work. I mean, this is, I don't know, what do you guys think? I mean, this is really nice hot rod finished off interior. I feel like this is the feel that I'm going for, you know, a nice work truck feel. Kid friendly, dog friendly, you know, seat cover. I mean, if we would have paid someone a bunch of money, do a seat, then we would have been all worried about scuffing it up, worried about the dog being in here, worried about the kids, whatever. Now they got a little, that's a perfect spot to stuff Hot Wheels, you know what I mean? Like, it's gonna work out just fine, I think. Really enjoy it. Let me know what you guys think. I know we got a little bit of taping and stuff like that to do. Like I say, we're just completely wasting our time here, but you know, you gotta try out the seat after you get her covered. Sometimes you just gotta take the little wins, you know? Roll with it. well, I guess. Let me know what you guys think. Let's move on to something else. Get this seat pulled out and stop messing around. Good morning. So last night ended up getting all the sound deadening finished up, taping done. So underneath the firewall, toe boards, all that good stuff, finished. Woohoo! Yeah, so all that's done. Kind of need to move on to the next step, you know, wiring, gauges, just kind of finishing up this interior, you know what I mean? Try to get all the stuff underneath the dash kind of buttoned up. So for the wiring, we kind of need the heart of the beast. So on the Rastock truck, I went with like a $45 Amazon, you know, full wiring harness kit with the fuse box, all that good stuff. It ended up being kind of more of a headache, and it kind of just sketches me out on some of the other Amazon kits. I don't want to end up with, you know, the same deal. They were mislabeled, the box was, you know, not wired right. So basically I had to start over, and it would have been faster from scratch. So I just thought, you know what, I'm not even gonna take the chance to just go from scratch. Got this box for like 10, 15 bucks. I don't know. I spent a couple extra bucks, got the bigger box because I thought, well, why not have a bigger, you know, more options, whatever. Made a quick little plate out of a piece of scrap. That was honestly scrap, just drilled a couple holes, hole punched actually. We're just gonna weld that up in there or something. Should have probably done that before the sound deadening, but we're gonna deal with that now. Got these door straps. Can't remember if I ever showed you guys these, but these are just like Amazon $9 Jeep Universal, whatever. We're gonna weld those on there with these little round bar I made. Whatever, nothing fancy. Do those on both sides. Get the doors from maxing out. I only want them to go to like there. That way, you know, we're not ruining things, you know. And the doors open and shut nice, so I like to keep it that way. Moving on, we've got a few holes here in the dash we need to deal with. So we got ignition switch, boom, bang. We got, try to find the coolest looking, most vintage, cheap cigarette lighter I could. I thought that one was kind of cool. We'll put that over there because, you know, guy needs, you know, GPS, all that good stuff. Phone charger, pretty well rely on that stuff these days. And I want to drive this thing, so yeah, we'll have that over there. And then the headlight switch, really bucked up on that, spent some money. I feel like, you know, it's like 45 bucks for this thing. Speedway, 4 position though, so we don't have to have a dimmer switch. And honestly, time you buy a dimmer switch, then you buy the headlight switch, and blah, blah, blah. It's not much difference. So I thought, well, let's just eliminate one switch, and it kind of keeps it clean. And I like the knob, you know, it's vintage looking. Speaking of that, I guess we did go ahead and change the knob on the glove box. This is a chrome one that we had from whatever, I think might have been the Rastock truck. Anyways, not perfect chrome, but it works. Went in through an extra glove box because I did have a leftover one from the Rastock truck, but we ended up with the same situation, not a lot of room after the brakes were in. So I just saved it and put it in this one. Anyways, if we're gonna have a cigarette lighter, might as well have an ashtray, you know, and that matches on that, if you notice, pretty well. And it kind of, you know, jazz up the dash a little bit, you know, put a little something up there. I think that's gonna look pretty good, and the chrome's not perfect, you know, it just kind of fits the build. Same with the tack here. She's kind of, you know, the used version. It wasn't my nicest one, but I know it works, and whatever, so we're gonna throw it in. Made this quick bracket a while ago, honestly. It's just out of a piece of flat strap. It's been sitting up on the toolbox. I'm sure you've noticed it, but I think we're just going to slap it kind of like that. You know, I think that works out pretty good. I like that. So we got, and every hot rod needs a tack, you know. We already got our 5,000. Oh, heck, whoop, put that up to 6. We'll be all right, you know. Anyways, as you notice, I went ahead and chopped up our gauges. We're gonna end up tacking them in there. I'll show you why. We're getting to the best part here, I feel like. So we went to the swap meet last year, Lincoln swap meet, for the Rastock truck looking for gauges. Picked up a bunch of different varieties. Picked this one up. This one was a $5 unit. Basically only had the speedometer, which the speedometer is the cool part. Look at that thing. That thing is so freaking cool. We've got a cable to hook it up. Blah, blah, blah. So I think we're gonna cut this up. This is the original housing. This is like 48 Studebaker from what I understand. And this kind of goes up there, blah, blah, blah. We're gonna modify this to go in ours somehow is the plan. But the coolest part, honestly, we got a couple cool parts here. I'm just gonna show it to you all at once. Look at that. That's our bezel. You know, that goes on there. Didn't start out that cool, guys, okay? So we wanted to fill these holes here. So I just got these, oh, I got a bag of knobs or push buttons off Amazon. I think they were like $8 for those, for all those. Figure, well, that'll plug the holes, you know, if anything. And then I boned out a New Yorker years ago, 4-door car, and saved all the trim and stuff off of it. Anyways, that crown was on that. Just kind of ground the little buttons off here, and whoop, there we go. Anyways, yeah, that just slips on there, finishes her out. I think that looks pretty freaking sweet. Super excited about it. Turn signal switch, that was in my swap me pile, so if it says $10, I know I don't have $10 in it. I got a bunch of these things, so whatever, we're gonna use that. Yeah, this though, I'm super excited about that. And then you bring it in here, it gets better. It gets so much better. So you put that, you know, center, blah, blah, blah. Look at that. I mean, that looks really good. Time we get our ashtray in there, that'll kind of bling up the dash a little bit, I feel like. Covers up that big nasty hole. And yeah, we only got these 2 holes to contend with, which I think we're just gonna put plugs in there because it's for the wipers, and one day maybe we'll throw wipers on it. You know, I'd like to at least leave the option maybe. But yeah, that kind of fills everything up. And then, except for these gauges, and they, you know, it's tough to do right now, but they basically kind of fit in behind here. We got to take out that little bridge, but then on this side, we only got 1 gauge, so we'll have to make a little filler here. But anyway, guys, I guess we got little fillers for those, but we'll figure something out. Anyways, I'm pretty excited about that. That really fits nicely. I am like a kid on Christmas Day, because I've been wanting to show you guys this for a while. But yeah, we had bigger and better things to do, but today we've really got to get it done. So, you know, we got to have gauges, so let's knock her out. I really am excited to let me know what you guys think, because I think that is just gonna, it's just gonna work, I guess. I don't know, I'm excited to see it put together. Let's do it. What do you guys think? It's turning out pretty darn slick. I'm really liking it. We got all of our switches in, doing, you know, whatever. They're done. I mean, we'll end up pulling them back out to wire them, but, you know, we're kind of getting everything mocked up. Looks good, you know, tacks up there looking good. Plug those holes. Just a couple plastic plugs. I also did one on the outside for the wiper. And I also plugged, I plugged these holes here and this one here. Ended up just using some of this flooring here and taped it on the backside. Worked out pretty slick. Didn't have to get too crazy. So that's just some tape and like I say, some of that flooring. But it's silver and it kind of, you know, doesn't stick out like a sore thumb, you know. The rest of that, we just need to slip the gauges in. Only thing we need to work on now is getting the old Speedo mounted. But we got door straps on. we're doing pretty good this morning. So yeah, me and the camera are playing nicely together, I guess. Anyways, we got a little bit of work done. Voila, woohoo, that's pretty sweet. Stole the shifter knob off the shifter, put her up here on the cowl vent. It's just a bolt in there, welded to a piece of round rod, welded to the cowl vent, little and she's all done, you know, turned out good. Like it. The shift knob really wasn't big enough for the shifter anyways, let's be honest. And it really looks good up there, you know. And yeah, usually those are tucked way under here, and they're never nothing fancy, and I kind of like that. Anyways, shifter knob, that's pretty sweet, huh? Old trophy topper. I was picked that up a couple years at swap meet. A couple years ago at swap meet. I think I was selling a bunch of them for like $5 a piece, you know. Super sweet. I always thought to make a cool hood ornament or shifter, you know. That's what we're doing here. Anyways, I think the kids are gonna love it. I love it. It's super sweet. And then when you throw her into gear, yeah, we're doing wheelies with the hot rod, you know. Like I say, I think kids are gonna love it. And you know, for the guys that really appreciate, I really like customs, you know. That's kind of my if I was to go to a car show, you're walking around with me, the customs is what's going to get me. Like anything similar, you know. Even that's why I like the rat rods, kind of, you know, kind of some of them. I really like the creativity like this, you know. Like, yes, we're not painting it, and I know that gets a lot of hate from a lot of guys, but if you're the guy like me doing the work to paint this cab, we're talking weeks, more time and money. And then you know, paint leads into, you know, you want to make everything else shinier, and you want this nicer, and you want this nicer, and paint increases stress. I understand that rat rods aren't everybody's thing. They aren't really my thing either. I don't really care for like the Mad Max, you know, like the chicken wire and the rats everywhere, and you know, that's not really my thing. But this kind of thing, you know, where we can be custom and have some fun, it's different. I like that, you know. I understand. It's, to me, it's kind of like the good old school hot rodding days. You know, back in the day, they didn't paint them just the same way I feel like I'm doing rat rods now. It's just a money thing, you know. If I could afford to paint it and take the time to paint it, sure, it would be great. But gosh, we'd be working on one for a year. We don't want to do that. So anyways, I'm getting way sidetracked. Whoa, that's just 1/4" thread, no big deal, shortened up. Got a little jam nut on there, stacked a couple nuts up on there, welded them, nothing fancy. Yeah, so I'm just gonna drip some Loctite, I think, through everything, get her all wound up, so she's facing that away. Once I get everything tightened down, it'll be nice and solid, whatever, you know what I mean. Moving on, I think next we need to finally get that speedometer skinny down. That's kind of the last gauge in here that we're waiting on, and that was just for some fun. I'll finish this up though when we get our shifter boot down, but we got some more stuff to do before then. Like I say, let's work on this speedometer, because we got to get this glass, you know, it's probably like plexiglass, out of there without damaging it. Skinny all this stuff down, figure out how to mount this, because this mount's all wicked like this. So yeah, this is a crazy setup that I've kind of been putting off, you know. Let's get her done. Getting that thing sweet. I think that's gonna work. Honestly, went pretty smooth. Getting it cut out of that die cast was, you know, whatever. And then just figuring out how we're gonna mount it. But I think we've got enough glue. We use this panel bond. It's pretty well gonna need to sit overnight, basically. But I got enough of it on there, kind of here and there, kind of tack everything together basically. But it definitely needs more there. I can see, you know, where I could go all the way across this, but I don't want to try it right now. I think we're just going to get it It's setting in place where it needs to be. I think that'll all be one piece, so it'll slide in and out of there now. And what I'm saying is we're gonna let that dry overnight, flip her over, juice her up a little bit more, and we're gonna call that done. So I think that's done. We're gonna pick another project and keep rolling. Hit that with some more glue in the morning. And we're back. This morning, just kind of been cleaning up, organized mess, you know what I mean? Everything's for this truck, so we're getting really close. I got the speedometer, got the second coat of juice on her. She was nice and dried up this morning. Went ahead and just kind of lathered around all the way around. So I think that's going to be super rigid when that dries up. That body panel adhesive, I mean, it's for body panels, you know, putting quarter panels on, rocker panels and stuff like that, basically gluing cars together. So I don't know why it wouldn't hold that, basically. What else we got up here? We got the carburetor hiding under here, the new one we need to slap it on. We got brake fittings because we need to get the rear brakes done, and seals, rebuild it, all that good stuff. Fuel line for the carburetor, switches. We got the spring purge up the front we need to get finished up, exhaust, wiring. We're gaining, you know, there's not a lot left. We're really getting close. Wiring's kind of the biggest one. I don't know how much of that I'm going to bring you guys along, but I'm going to let you guys know what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and what I'm using real quick. For you guys that want to know, but I'm not going to get too lengthy because, you know, whatever. But this is kind of what I got a speedway bunch of wire. I mean, I kept basically all the wiring kits and stuff like that over the years. I got a whole bunch in here, you know, Speedway and Keep It Clean. You know, there's just all kinds of stuff. Easy Wire, I really like that one. It shows you, you know, colors, pictures, diagrams, stuff like that. You know, it's really nice. It gives you all the different flavors, charging systems. This kind of another universal, you know, book or whatever. Might have got this off the internet or something like that. You know, I can't remember. They all work pretty good between all of them. You know, they usually get something done. Same with like the turn signal switch. I've got multiple, you know, I've done or used a bunch of those things or got a bunch. So that's kind of what I go off of. Luckily, we've got the internet these days, Google. Luckily, like if you're doing something like this with a Chevrolet platform, you know, like a 55 Chevy, usually works great for like a small block Chevy, minimal wiring. You know, basically headlights, taillights, turn signals, all that stuff is basically universal throughout, you know, GM, Ford, Dodge, you know, whatever. They're all pretty well the same Chevy. It's just kind of basically the charging systems, and then when you get into heavy accessories, you know, windows and locks and all that stuff, we're keeping it real simple on this thing, so it should be real simple. I do like to make sure, you know, you want to insulate all your ends up, especially when they're going to be, you know, open fendered hot rod, stuff like that. You don't want your connections getting all, you know, corroded up. So I like these heat shrink ones. They work out nice. Amazon's kind of the best place to get those. You know, I got a bunch ready for this one. I have tried out these on the last one. I've been liking these. So they got the heat shrink and the solder in them. Kind of makes it pretty clean. They seem to be working pretty good. So figured I'd try them out on this one. Haven't had too many troubles yet. So yeah. Oh, and then fusible link. You know, you kind of always want to, you know, make sure you start your system with a fusible link. You don't want to just hardwire your system and have her burn up. You know, you want to have, and if you're ever concerned about wire size or something like that, go up in wire size. You know, I mean, try to overbuild it than underbuild it. You don't want to burn yourself down. Anyhow, so like I say, I'll kind of hit and miss on a little bit of that if I feel like it's interesting, but I'm trying to keep it kind of interesting, you know what I mean? So moving on, mirrors. You know, we need some mirrors. Rear view mirror, I think. We got a few different options. Speaking of, this is just like a swap meet job. I had it for a long time sitting in a bucket in there. Could not tell you what it come off of, but look at that. It's like the right color. It's already patinaed, kind of scratched up and stuff, so matches, you know, and it's an old one. It's got the, you know, the like bluer mirror tint to it. I like that. It's kind of my favorite. Anyways, easier on the eyes. I'm thinking we were gonna kind of put it up there like that. That's kind of, I don't know. And then we'd have to bend that rod around here, you know. I mean, we could make it work, but bending that rod's gonna be tough. Definitely gonna require lots of heat. So then I was thinking, and that kind of looked tacky, you know what I mean? And I was thinking, why not just do that? But then we got that big old goofer off the front. Well, boys, we got a grinder. Let's just hack that thing off. So what I'm thinking, then we just have 2 bolts, zip, zip, right up through the front. So that's the plan. We're just gonna, let's see here. Let's get you in. There we go. Slap that baby off and just have those 2 bolt holes. So that's the plan. Let's get a rear mirror in and stop yakking. Not bad, huh? Not bad. Well, next up, mirror, side mirror. Believe it or not, this was the smallest one. These trucks, like I got like 4 of these trucks. Yeah, anyways, maybe more. I bought a few of these. It all started off just wanting 1. That's how it worked out. So I got a few of these mirrors, is what I'm saying. I think I got 2 or 3 of them. This is the smallest one, believe it or not. It's got a nice clean mirror to it, nice blue glass, whatever. We talked about how I like that. And it's kind of small compared to the other ones, like I'm saying. And look at this guy. We get that kind of down on there. It needs to go down another 1/4 of an inch, but look at that. That thing is just, it's huge. Yeah, and that thing, you guys think like the modern moose mirrors, you guys give them crap. Look at this thing. I mean, and it can go out another 1 foot. Look at that thing. We could, woof. I don't know. They put a mirror on there back in the day. They weren't messing around. And this is the smallest one. So I'm thinking it's not the best looking mirror in the world, but it fits the build. You know what I'm saying? And I probably ain't going to use it on anything else. And it's free, you know? So I'm thinking we're shortening that bad boy up to, you know, something like that. I think that's way less. Holy smokes. And that'll still give us like an extra, you know, 3 or 4 inches of, you know, adjustability if we want to go in and out a little bit. If we want just a little bit of extension, you know, if we were pulling a trailer, I guess maybe we want a little bit more. But I think for most driving, I think that's going to look pretty slick. So let's cut her up and make her work. Not bad, huh? Another easy little mod. Honestly, I don't think if I would have told anyone, would you have even noticed? It looks pretty good. Looks factory, I guess, whatever. I don't know. I think it looks pretty good. We still got plenty of adjustability this way, and I had her on and off a couple times because I had this on the back side. You know, whatever. We want her fully adjustable. So we've got like, what, 4 or 5 inches down in here where this can come on out. So, you know, we got plenty of adjustability. Don't look too bad. Moving on. Good morning. Well, we got a little bit of exciting news this morning. Well, not a little bit, a lot of it. We got a huge shout out from Womorski. We got like 100 new subscribers overnight. Man, am I excited. Thank you guys. I really appreciate that. Thank you new Mortsky subscribers. Thanks for throwing in comments. Let me know you guys are watching. Let me know you guys are watching this one. I really hope you are. Hopefully you've watched the full build, you know. Go back, watch the previous episodes, you know. Yeah, I really appreciate that. I owe Mortsky a beer. I definitely want to catch up with that guy again in the future and, you know, thank him. I did not expect that. Luckily for us, I think he kind of forgot about it and then, you know, wanted to roll it in there. So he like rolled out the red carpet, stopped production and everything for us. So I don't know, killer shout out is what I'm saying. Thank you, thank him, thank everybody in that situation. Thanks for watching is what I'm saying. Hopefully we can get over that 1,000, you know, and get pushed out to everyone. Keep growing. Got the old rod going here. We've been making good progress, real good progress on the wiring. It's kind of what we've been working on. Wanted to give you a quick little update of how things are looking because I've got the front and the back, the underneath pretty much, I think, done. Got the front wiring, you know, all loomed up, done, hung, horns done. You know, everything's looking pretty good under here, I believe. I didn't loom this stuff under here. I don't know, it's all tied up nice. It's not gonna go anywhere. What do you guys think? What's your opinion? Should I throw something over that? I don't know. I don't feel like, I don't know, you know, whatever. I don't know, we'll see. Did do the brake line. I told you guys I'd show you that eventually. Brake light switch already done. Rear, you know, again, all looking pretty good. Got her loomed and heat shrunk all where she needs to be. Everywhere where I'm worried it's gonna rub, I put some extra loom on there. We threw a little backup camera in there, you know. Of course, we got our trailer lights. We threw a little green light on here for our license plate light. Should be kind of neat. Yeah, everything's kind of dialed in though. Really don't have much for parts left other than our exhaust and rebuilding our rear end. And we're pretty much done. But I'm kind of rolling on the wiring. So I think I just kind of want to finish her up. I'm going to lower you down real quick. We'll take a look at the rest of it real quick. Back on the ground. So on the front side, we threw another green light up here. And I can't remember if I told you guys, we slipped one up in behind the distributor. So all those are going to come on, you know, with the park lights. So it'd be kind of greened out, look kind of cool. And I guess while I'm thinking of it, I did put a little piece of rubber on here, just a piece of hose, just in case that gets pushed back and rubs on the radiator. We're not, you know, hopefully damaging anything. Anyways, yeah, all the wiring's buttoned up. I like it, I'm happy. Not too much left. I got the alternator and yeah, I think the alternator's the only thing I got left. And mainly the inside, we've got everything running here. So yeah, I need to start running everything to the switches, to the box, all that good stuff. But she's coming along pretty good. I was just pretty excited this morning to get that, find that out. Kind of wanted to chime in, give you guys a little update. But again, I really appreciate you guys. Thanks for all the new subscribers. Hope you guys are enjoying what I'm doing. Let me know, you know, what I can do better, because I'm sure I can improve somewhere. Anyways, I'm going to set you guys up. We're going to keep wiring the inside. And like I say, not much left. We're just going to hopefully have this baby finished up soon. Good morning. Wiring. That's what we've been doing. A little update time. We're like 99.9% there on the wiring. Like we're so close. I've tested everything. Everything's kind of tied up, looking good. Need to throw a little loom cover, you know, on some of this. I say 99% because we're waiting on a switch, on-off switch for our backup camera. We ended up gluing that baby up there, kind of out of sight, out of mind kind of deal. You know, if you guys are looking in, you know, it's gonna look cool and old school, but driver friendly. I can see that camera up there, but it's kind of up here in my eyeballs. So I thought at nighttime, you know, I probably won't want that on. I don't know what I'm gonna want. So I want the power to just on off, you know? So we're waiting another day or two for that. Like I say, wiring looking good, interior looking good, happy with it. I wanted to put the speedometer in, kind of get the final look, but I broke it. You know, good on me. But you know, originally when we built it, I didn't think we really built it that good, I guess. I don't know, we thought it was all right. We kind of glued it a 1/2 inch here on each side. It seemed pretty rigid, but putting this speedometer cable on, there's quite a bit of screwing around, to be honest. The angle it's at and stuff, you kind of got to mess around to get it on there. And there wasn't nothing bridging her from here to here. So now we've got this cool, crafty little redneck idea. Took the old lid off the butt connector lid and cut it all up. Gave her the juice, glued her all up, you know, and look at it now. Super rigid. Very happy with that. Wish we would have done that from the get-go, but hey, not too late. We're still doing it now, you know. Other improvements, I got these bullets. It was cheaper to get a 10-pack than it was just 2, you know, or whatever in my mind. We use these. We use the heck out of them. We're gonna replace those Phillips screws with some cool bullets because that'll be way cooler. And being as we had extra bullets, you know, we gotta put them to use. And drop in a comment. What do you guys think of that? That's sweet, huh? Got that on the tail light. Big improvement. I'm happy with that. I love these little things. You know, I'll put them everywhere. Anyways, interior, wiring, all that stuff. Like I say, pretty much done. I'm happy with that. Moving on, Kayla got her a Cricut machine. You know, if you see us out and about, hit us up. It's got a little QR code, goes to our YouTube, Facebook, all that good stuff. We're gonna be giving out stickers, you know. Got some for the shocks. But anyhow, interior, looking good. But we need to get something on the floor because just after me wiring, I mean, I'm already wearing off this black. We don't want to get through to that silver stuff and get to that ooey gooey. I was thinking just maybe some floor mats, but then I was going through the garage the other day, and when we got Kayla's van at first, we weren't for sure if we wanted to buck up and spend the money for WeatherTechs for the old Mavy dogs. We just got this cheap Walmart rug, but it held the hair just as much as the carpet, so we went with WeatherTechs. But any hair here nor there, we cut this rug up, and it's pretty well junk for anything else other than hot rod interior. That's kind of why I saved it. It's small enough, and if we don't cover completely under the seat, who really cares? We just mainly want the floorboard. So that's what we're going to move on to next. I'm going to set you guys up, and we're going to see if we can't get a little carpet in the old hot rod. So really give us the old Holmesley feel, get the seat back in, get her all tidied up. So let's do it. Not bad, huh? A couple little wrinkles up here, but around the tunnel, you know, I mean, that's kind of hard to do. We don't have a molded carpet, and, you know, it's just like a cheapy Walmart rug, you know? Get what you pay for. And this baby's free, so I'm pretty happy with it. We had a little patch over here. Again, you know, the seat's going to cover most of this, so who cares, really, in my opinion. and it's a rat route, I guess, guys. You know, at the end of the day, we're just trying to, you know, jazz her up a little bit. You know, we're gonna keep on the jazzing though. I like the rest of it. It's looking good. I think we'll kind of like singe the edges of this bad boy a little bit, glue it. I'm not even afraid of putting a couple screws down here or something like that if need be. But I think we're gonna kind of paint up the firewall and stuff, toe boards. I was thinking about doing kick panels. I think I'm gonna go against that. We got a fire extinguisher we're gonna slap on the other side in the toe board, and then we got our fuses over here. I think that's gonna be enough, but we're gonna go ahead and do a little painting on that, I think. I got, way back in the day, I did some door panels and stuff. I remember it. Obviously, it wasn't, you know, maybe 10 years ago. This can says it's from 95. I don't know. Definitely a retro can. It's gray, so that's what I was originally thinking of doing. It's just because I had it, but there's hardly any left in here. And I had the parts store see if they just had another can. Of course, this is the new style stuff. Doesn't look the same. And the gray is kind of lighter. So they had two different options. I said, well, send them both. I was committed on the gray, but they sent in a black, and it's kind of sweet. I kind of like this black. So I don't know, we're probably going to do the black in there. Throw in a comment. What should we, you know, am I making a mistake? Black, gray? I don't know. We're probably going to do the black. I'm going to rip the carpet back out, spray that stuff, maybe do a little spraying here and there, you know, and then we're going to, you know, get her placed in. So let's do it. Yeah, what do you guys think? Next morning turned out pretty good. All dried up. We ended up going with the truck bed coating for the first coat just to black it out, because this stuff didn't want to, you know, black her out very fast. Only had one can, didn't want to waste a bunch, and this, you know, got us right to business. So yeah, that turned out really good. You know, like matches the paint lid. You know, it's like exactly as advertised. I like when that happens. Anyway, so that's kind of ready for carpet. So I think the plan is we're going to blast her with some, what is this, Spray 90, high strength spray adhesive. And it's telling us we need to hit her with, what, 1 to 3 coats and allow it to dry until tacky. So we're going to blast up the floor. We're going to blast up the bottom side of the carpet. Also this morning I did kind of just go around with a little, you know, butane torch and just kind of, you know, singe up the edges, you know, so nothing's kind of going crazy on us anymore. Whatever, it's not perfect, but looks a lot better. Like I say, I'm going to flip her over, hit her with the glue, slap her in, and start buttoning up the old interior. Man, oh man, guys. What do you guys think of that? You got to throw in a comment and let me know. I am on cloud 9. That turned out amazing, in my opinion. Never in a million years thought we'd have this result with these materials. Really cheapo carpet, basically free. You know, whatever. I don't know. I've done this before, and usually it kind of ends up a little wadded around the tunnel. I don't know how this one just turned out really good. Cut just a couple screws. Man, it laid out super nice. Got our extinguisher in there, got our handle on, our boot. Doesn't that just trim that out nice? And this looks like a snazzy interior. You gotta remember, we're only gonna see a little bit of that patch. End of the day, it is what it is, guys. That turned out sweet. We got a little bit of loom cover I think we're gonna run down here just to kind of, you know, what you see, kind of black it out a little bit. And then I got our other switch for our dash. So I went ahead and wired that in real quick. And yeah, this is ready to go back together. So hopefully our cluster fits after our new modifications for our Speedo. And hopefully all that goes good. So I think that's kind of the next steps. Get this finished up so we can get the seat in. Man, this looks good. I'm super excited with how this is turning out. Let's keep rolling. What do you guys think? Finished product? Perfect in my opinion. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Never, never, never expected it to be this nice. I know it's not perfect, you know, it's, but it's mine, you know, and I'm super, super happy with it. And we got like no money in it and it looks freaking great. Carpet, good, good, good deal. All that blacked out, love it. We got the bullets on there, you know, we got her all loomed up. Everything's working, you know, pretty excited about that. You know, backup camera, beep, beep. You know, we even got our turn signals. Oh yeah, everything's working. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. Wiring done, interior done. But honestly, we are behind. Yeah, we're behind. I spent a couple days on this interior. Was hoping to be running and driving by now, but that's just how things go. I didn't expect it to turn out this good, like I say. So, you know, basically, we're not going to get around and driving this episode. I got to get an episode pushed out to you guys. And if we wait too much longer, we're going to have a 2-hour-long episode, which nobody likes. And we're going to be another week, I guess, or a couple more days, if anything. We've got a good, honest couple more days for the work. We've got to finish up the rear end a little bit. Got a little bit of work to do, hood prop and, you know, hood latch, stuff like that. A couple just small things. Exhaust, that's kind of the biggest one. Before we can kind of get her running, we got to slip in our glass. Glass guy just called me today. So yeah, next episode, we'll 100% get her finished. We'll definitely be going out and doing some driving, some burnouts, having some fun in her, and moving on to the next project. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this. Appreciate all your new subscribers. You know, tell your friends. Like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you guys on the next one.